With the study of Himalayan and Tibetan art, one thing that is always consistent is there will always be surprises. There will always be new paintings or new sculpture around the corner. There will be paintings and sculpture and ritual objects that will be buried in a museum collection or a temple or monastery collection or a private collection, which has been something which has been overlooked or people have not had an interest in it. There's always surprises. So in 2021, I think it was March, I was contacted by the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston about a project they were working on having to do with conservation, and they had selected primarily a painting from their storage in the basement, and actually there were three paintings that they had, and they just showed me one to begin with. But the painting was interesting. They thought the paintings were, or it was considered the paintings were of moderate interest, and they wanted to use them for a conservation project, a conservation study, which is admirable in itself. But to my eye, I recognized the school. I recognized the atelier based on knowing other paintings from this workshop. And so we redated the paintings to 16th century, and we came up with another group of paintings that were derivative of these paintings. They're derivative, but they're from the same school, but they're separated by time. They're separated by a number of years. So the MFA Boston paintings are only three out of a set of 21 taras, according to the system of Atisha. Now, the Atisha system of the 21 taras are characterized by a more simplistic figurative form. Each tara is generally the same. They're only differentiated by color for the most part. And each of the taras holds a vase in the outstretched right hand. The right hand is across the right knee and holds a vase. And the vase is often the same color as the body of the figure, be it white or yellow or red or blue. Otherwise, the Atisha forms are all the same in terms of faces, arms, and general appearance and demeanor. Now, the other set, the comparable set, actually lives in the Tibet Museum in Lhasa, and it is a complete set, but it is not the Atisha tradition. It's the Suryagupta tradition of 21 taras. And the Suryagupta tradition, the taras are characterized by having a single face or multiple faces, single pair of arms or multiple arms. They can be seated or standing. They can be wrathful, semi-peaceful, or peaceful. So there's a tremendous variety of iconographic forms with the Suryagupta. Now, the Suryagupta is complete. The MFA Boston is not. But what we were able to really recognize is the style of the brushwork, the color, and especially the composition is the same. And we were able to isolate and identify the landscape backgrounds and significant features from the Tibet Museum and the MFA Boston. The difference is, I believe, based on style, the MFA Boston are earlier. They could be 10, 20, 30 years earlier. We can date quite clearly the Tibet Museum set because of certain figures of teachers that are placed in the lower right or left side. So it's pretty much accepted that we're looking at the first decade of the 17th century for the Tibet House, for the Tibet Museum. Now, the MFA Boston should be middle to towards the end of the 16th century. But anyway, it was a wonderful find. We have documented them a little bit on the HAR website, and we have put them together with the comparable paintings from the Suryagupta set, which has the same landscape elements in the background. So press like, you can subscribe, you can ask questions, and you can also support the work we do by joining HAR on Patreon.